So I was chatting to a friend the other day, and it gradually became clear that what I was explaining to that friend was a complete shock, something they'd never experienced and were finding it hard to fathom, which is this sense of constant anxiety. It's such a part of who I am that I just assume it must be there in other people, but I don't think it is. So let me try and describe what it is. It's a sense of, I wouldn't say fear, it's anxiety. Sometimes it takes an effort for me to go outside. I think I don't really, what could happen. I don't want to get into any weird situations with people. Like, have you ever been in that situation where you see someone, and even if you know that person, you're so anxious about what you're going to say that next, what you're going to say first, and then you say whatever you say first, it's a little bit lame because the next thing that you're thinking about, the next thing you're going to say, and is the person going to like the next thing you're going to say, and are you going to sound boring? Are you going to sound stupid? So every conversation I have is like that. And I just feel like that's the way it's always been. Fear of embarrassment, fear of looking foolish, fear of saying something that upsets someone, fear of angering someone. It's being sensitive, but then being so sensitive that an offhand remark from someone can really cut you too deep, then, an altercation. I've really stopped enjoying driving for this reason, because that seems like the most obvious, the quickest way to run into arseholes. Just all these angry people beeping at me, and like I'm some sort of shit driver. I'm a really good driver. But I don't know how people exist on this level of anger and annoyance at the world, where the world is inferior to them and they must vent their superiority by means of a honking of a horn. Oh. And I'm just wondering how prevalent it really is. Like I say, my friend found this weird. It's like, most of your conversations are fraught with anxiety. Yeah, they are. I'm constantly worried. I'm constantly anxious. And I'm trying to think where it comes from. And I can only think that it comes from a sense of being inferior, being found out, not being as good as someone else, disappointing people. I mean, in my childhood, we moved around a lot when I was a kid, and I was always a little bit of an outsider. I was always sort of singled out. I had the wrong accent, because when you move around, you have a different accent. And this is when I was like in high school and before that as well, juniors. Fear of being found out as different and having to cover up who you truly are for fear of being made to feel stupid, pointed at, possibly. I don't feel like the world is a place where you go to really relax. And I guess if you talk to, go to a park to relax. Sit in a park. I live in the northwest of England, Manchester. If you go to a park in Manchester, I'll tell you, the last time I went to a park in Manchester, sat down on a bench to enjoy the sunshine, sit under a tree on a bench, and I saw the guy coming from right the other side of the park, from the other side of the street virtually, a drunk guy. And I thought, there's the whole of Manchester, there's the whole of the world, there's the whole of this park he could sit in, and he's walking straight towards me. So he comes all the way across. So now I'm in this peaceful park, formerly peaceful park, with a nutcase next to me. I think, you can't escape can't escape these people. All these weird things happen to me. I went through this thing at university of being afraid of wasps. I didn't go out of my house for 2 weeks because of this, what happened in a class. There was this wasp and 20 people in a room, and it's circling around the room, and I can see, and who does it come towards? It comes towards me. And because I fling it off and go, everyone looked at me like I am the stupidest person in the world for being afraid of a wasp. Wasps can sting you. So I didn't go out for 2 weeks, and this is true. I swear, God's honest truth. This is true. I didn't go out of my lodgings for 2 weeks, and I stepped out of the front door, down the path, out of the gate, and a wasp hit me in my forehead. Bang. That wasp, how long do wasps live? However long, it'd been going around doing its thing for weeks up to that point. At which, on that day, I decided to go out, and it's decided to fly into my head. This is the kind of thing this is why I'm anxious. This is why I'm anxious. However, part of the reason of me thinking these things is to think, well, maybe I'm not alone. There may be other people out there who are anxious. And in sharing this, maybe it makes it a bit better. I find it really hard, these people who go around not questioning themselves, not worrying about what's going to happen next. How do you do that? How do you just go around and be confident? I don't know how you do that. But maybe there's an upside as well. Scrutinizing yourself and being worried, I think makes you attuned to how other people are feeling. And you consider how other people might be feeling, because they might be feeling the same as you. They might be feeling as awkward and worried as you. Maybe by being considerate, you can do something about it. So that's a positive, I guess. And also you learn to just incorporate into who you are. So you always feel it, but you always can sort of project confidence. You just become familiar with it. You kind of push through it. You know what I mean? Like, fuck it. I know I feel really, really awkward. But if your default position is awkward, worried, potentially embarrassed, then you almost do anything because you always feel like that. So something really extreme, like you could be a really confident person, but you'd never get up on stage in front of a bunch of people. You'd never walk into a bar full of strangers because that's alien, that's unusual. And in that situation, although you're usually a confident person, you feel awkward. Well, I feel awkward all the time. So I, or someone who feels like me, might be more inclined to do those things, to do those weird out there things, because that's our default feeling. We feel like that when we just step out the front door. Yeah, it was what I was thinking.